The evil hidden behind a narcissist's life, and it can make you suffer. Greetings and welcome to the Narcissist Exposed channel. In this discussion, I aim to delve into a complex and challenging subject, the connection between narcissism and malevolence. My objective is to illustrate that narcissism inherently carries a malevolent aspect. Stereotypes and the idea of an entirely malevolent personality primarily apply to the most extreme forms of narcissism, specifically the malignant narcissist, the sociopath, and the psychopath. These individuals exhibit a profound absence of moral guidance, evident through their complete disregard for the fundamental human rights of others. In this extreme embodiment of malevolence, they are utterly ruthless, exploiting the vulnerabilities or even the everyday existence of others. Their intentions are resolute in causing harm to assert their superiority. This can be viewed not only as a sign of psychological imbalance, but also as a precursor to their moral deterioration. They lack an understanding of virtues and the goodness in life. It is crucial to adopt a more nuanced perspective and acknowledge that, similar to the spectrum of narcissism, malevolence also manifests in varying degrees. Some individuals may display narcissistic traits, such as a tendency toward dominance, a blatant disregard for others' feelings, manipulative behavior, arrogance, and the inclination to present a false self-image. While they may exhibit these qualities to a lesser extent, they may also possess certain positive attributes. The same rationale can be applied to malevolence. While certain individuals may not consistently exhibit malevolent behavior, it can surface depending on the circumstances. Importantly, it often emerges as a focal point in situations of conflict. A malevolent person's motto might be dominate or be dominated, and their preferred course of action is well known. Subsequently, my intention is to offer a practical explanation of evil that encompasses individuals who exhibit this quality to a lesser extent in their lifetimes, as well as those situated at the extreme end of the spectrum. According to this definition, malevolence emerges when a person consciously chooses to disregard prevailing moral and ethical standards, despite their awareness of these standards' existence. In other words, it goes beyond mere instinct or unfiltered reaction. These individuals, fully aware of the difference between right and wrong, deliberately choose the latter. Can we concur on this? Furthermore, it can be argued that the objective of malevolence is to annihilate the essence of the individual they are contending with. Therefore, evil can either be all-encompassing and a defining trait at one end of the spectrum, or take the form of what I term evil in small doses, a more episodic occurrence. To grasp the impact of evil on a highly narcissistic individual, let's explore specific indicators of this trait. Firstly, it becomes abundantly clear when an individual has succumbed to their malevolent tendencies, when they derive pleasure from causing harm or suffering to others. At times, one might pause and think, could anyone really think this way? However, narcissism is fundamentally driven by self-preservation, even if it entails promoting an untrue image of oneself. Narcissists may be willing to elevate themselves at the expense of demeaning others, regardless of the resulting pain, and they may remain oblivious to the suffering they cause. Let's delve a bit deeper. When the perpetrator of a harmful act attempts to shift the blame onto the victim of their malevolence, evil is unmistakably present. In simple terms, they seek to assign responsibility by asserting, "You are to blame. Any mistake I made was initiated by you," thereby redirecting attention to the faults of the other individual. Clearly, a manifestation of malevolence has occurred. Another sign of malevolence becomes apparent when an individual's anger is triggered by another person's pursuit of autonomy. When someone expresses a different preference, idea, or interpretation and desires to freely follow their own judgment and expertise. The embodiment of evil vehemently denies such freedom in their presence due to an intense need for control, a facet of their malevolent disposition. Similarly, another indication of malevolence is when an individual not only harbors resentment and animosity, but also disdain, often without a justifiable reason. It might be as arbitrary as saying, "I despise you because you don't belong to my group," or "your perspective differs from mine." Despite the absence of a compelling moral rationale, these attitudes persist. Furthermore, another sign of malevolence arises when an individual grapples with the inner conflict between feeling remorse for an action and demeaning another person. In essence, they may hold the view that "I'm not sure if it's right to say or do this," and "I'm uncertain if it's acceptable to insult someone." However, they ultimately choose to degrade, as if to imply that any guilt I may feel is insufficient to dissuade me. Those with malevolent inclinations are not only willing but even enthusiastic about displaying callous and insensitive behavior as a means of asserting their perceived dominance. They seem to be proclaiming, "Are you interested in determining who reigns supreme in this realm? It wouldn't be hard for me to demonstrate." To convey this message, they engage in actions that are repugnant, harmful, and detrimental to others. These actions solely serve to assert their dominance. Within this domain of malevolence, such individuals often exhibit a conspicuous disregard for the unique struggles, needs, or circumstances of others, which might expose them to greater danger. Instead of showing compassion toward these situations, they view them as opportunities for exploitation. They contemplate the following: "This is significant. It provides me with a tactical advantage as I can now discern your vulnerabilities and exploit them more efficiently." These malevolent individuals display characteristics that closely mirror the core attributes of narcissism. These traits include an insatiable thirst for power and dominance, a conspicuous disregard for the well-being of others, and an unwavering belief in their own superiority. When one adopts such behaviors and attitudes, it becomes clear that they have fundamentally redefined the concept of a fulfilling life. Instead of promoting harmony and mutual respect, they champion dominance and disregard for the welfare of others. These individuals fundamentally oppose the idea of a rewarding life built on principles like love, mutual kindness, honor, and respect. To them, fulfillment is synonymous with dominance. Additionally, they lack a genuine desire for authentic emotional connections and evade accountability. This mindset persists. Embracing malevolence reflects a profound internal conflict. It is evident that those who enter this state, whether fully immersed in it or engaging in malevolent actions as outlined, have essentially adopted a pessimistic outlook on life. This is akin to saying, "Since I'm trapped in this miserable state and overwhelmed by negative emotions, I might as well drag others down with me." My use of the term losers is not meant as an insult, but rather to convey that they are incapable of understanding, apathetic to, and resistant to the idea of living a constructive and optimistic life. Furthermore, it can be argued that individuals who engage in such behavior are inherently dissatisfied. Their actions are driven by their own despondency and pessimism. They often grapple with persistent feelings of diminished self-worth, with many having experienced past instances of denigration. However, instead of addressing these emotions constructively, they employ displacement as a psychological defense mechanism. Essentially, they think, rather than confronting the pain I carry within, I will redirect my animosity onto you. The essence of displacement is as follows. Furthermore, these individuals lack forward-thinking attributes. instances of them considering the potential consequences for all parties involved, the ultimate goal of a situation, or the long-term trajectory of their actions are rare. Such ideas do not cross their minds. They live in the moment, driven solely by raw emotions and desires, which they express without much thought. As a result, they struggle to establish meaningful connections and lack trust. It is undeniably repugnant, isn't it? Additionally, it deserves empathy. It is imperative for you to recognize the malevolence inherent in the narcissistic pattern as a whole. Your objective should be to minimize intimate interactions with such individuals. It's crucial to refrain from divulging excessive personal information to them. This doesn't mean adopting an introverted persona, but rather exercising prudence and discretion in choosing acquaintances with whom you share your private life. With this in mind, my hope is that you can discern whether an individual in your life warrants a better alternative. Once you realize this, set your boundaries, define your specific terms, and establish consequences. I earnestly wish for you to choose the higher path. Remember the adage, do not repay evil with evil. Avoid entering their negative realm, as it will lead to your defeat and hinder your personal growth. Opt for compassion and decency instead. It is essential to uphold our core values of dignity, respect, and civility. Someone needs to uphold these values. Why shouldn't it be our prerogative to declare, I will elaborate on my personal understanding of what constitutes a truly prosperous life. While I acknowledge the complexity of this matter, I genuinely hope it helps you better grasp the challenges you may encounter. I strongly recommend subscribing if you haven't already. I will be consistently posting new content. Also, don't forget to click the like button. Seeking professional guidance can be quite beneficial in understanding your experiences, especially if you've been influenced by those who have succumbed to such harmful behaviors. We should exercise caution when labeling something as evil. As mentioned earlier, it's a pattern on a spectrum. It's important to realize that every individual is susceptible to falling into this pattern. However, both you and I hope, can agree to avoid venturing into that territory, each in our own capacity. I trust that, should you encounter someone displaying such behavior, you have a strong sense of self-definition that allows you to disengage entirely from that dynamic. Our community is committed to upholding principles of decency and virtue. I sincerely hope that you can maintain your stance as a person dedicated to peace by actively avoiding negative influences. I want to express my heartfelt appreciation for your presence today as we delve into this challenging topic. I hope the perspectives shared have been valuable and enlightening. If you found this content valuable, we kindly ask that you consider subscribing and clicking the like button. Your support enables us to continue providing more insightful content. It's crucial that we remain steadfast in our commitment to decency, respect, and love as we explore the complex spectrum of human behavior. We must continue our pursuit of harmony and understanding in all our interactions. Until our next discussion, please remember to take care of one another. Farewell, and thank you.